live Jesus, the heart that unites the fragments. At the same time, the heart makes any authentic bond possible, because a relationship not built with the heart is unable to overcome the fragmentation of individualism. Only two monads would remain standing, joining together but not truly connecting. An anti-heart is a society increasingly dominated by narcissism and self-reference. Ultimately, we arrive at the loss of desire because the other disappears from the horizon and we become enclosed in our own selves without the capacity for healthy relationships. Consequently, we become incapable of welcoming God. As Heidegger would say, to receive the divine, one must build a guest house. Thus, we see how this paradoxical connection occurs in each person's heart between the appreciation of one's own being and openness to others, between the deeply personal encounter with oneself and giving oneself to others. One only truly becomes oneself when one gains the ability to recognize the other, and one meets the other who can recognize and accept one's own identity. The heart is also capable of unifying and harmonizing your personal history, which may seem fragmented into 1,000 pieces, but where everything can find meaning. This is what the gospel expresses in the gaze of Mary, who looked with the heart. She was able to dialogue with the cherished experiences by pondering them in her heart, giving them time, symbolizing and keeping them within to remember. In the gospel, the best expression of what a heart thinks is in the two passages of St. Luke that tells us that Mary treasured syneteria, all these things, pondering, symbalusa, them in her heart. The verb symbion, from which symbol is derived, means to ponder, to bring two things together in the mind and examine them within oneself, reflecting, dialoguing inwardly. In Luke 2:51, ditere is carefully kept, and what she kept was not only the scene she saw, but also what she did not yet understand, and still remain present and alive while waiting to unite everything in the heart. In the age of artificial intelligence, we cannot forget that to save humanity, poetry and love are needed. What no algorithm can contain will be, for example, that childhood moment remembered with tenderness, and that even as years pass, continues to occur in every corner of the planet. I think of using a fork to seal the edge of those homemade pastries we make with our mothers or grandmothers. It is at that moment of being an apprentice cook, halfway between play and adulthood, where the responsibility of work is assumed to help another. In that same way, the fork could signify thousands of small details that support the biographies of all, making smiles bloom with a joke, tracing a drawing against the light of a window, playing the first soccer match with a rag ball, caring for caterpillars in a shoebox, drawing a flower between the pages of a book, caring for a little bird that has fallen from its nest, making a wish while plucking a daisy. All the small details. The ordinary, extraordinary, can never be within algorithms, because the fork, the jokes, the window, the ball, the shoebox, the book, the bird, the flower are sustained in the tenderness kept in the memories of the heart. That chord of each human being innermost center, is not the core of the soul, but the entire person in their unique identity that is both animate and corporeal. Everything is unified in the heart, which can be the seat of love in its entirety, encompassing its spiritual, animate, and physical components. Ultimately, if love reigns there, a person fully and luminously achieves their identity, because each human being has been created above all for love, and it's made in the most intimate fibers to love and be loved. For this reason, observing the emergence of new wars with the complicity, tolerance, or indifference of other countries, or with the mere power struggles over partial interest, we may think that the word society is losing its heart. It would be enough to look at and listen to the elderly women from the different conflicting sides caught in this devastating conflicts. It is heartbreaking to see them crying for their murdered grandchildren, or hear them wishing for their own death because they have lost the home where they have always lived. They, who have often been models of strength and resilience throughout difficult and sacrificial lives, are not offered a deserved peace in the last stage of their existence. Instead, they are met with anguish, fear, and indignation. Their recourse to blaming others does not solve this shameful drama. Seeing grandmothers cry without it becoming intolerable to us is a sign of heartless world. When each person reflects, searches, meditates on their own being and identity, or analyzes the most elevated questions, when they ponder the meaning of their life and even seek God, even when they experience the taste of having glimpsed something of the truth. This needs to find its culmination in love. By loving, the person feels they know why and for what they live. Thus, everything converges into a state of connection and harmony. Therefore, in the face of one's personal mystery, perhaps the most decisive question each person could ask themselves is, do I have a heart? God be blessed forever.